guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl DJ Not the Truth here, back with another video. Alright guys, so today I'm back with the long overdue The L Word Generation Q season finale, episode 8, Lapse and Judgment. Okay, I got a little behind, so it took me a little bit to get the last episode review edited and put out, so finally back with the last episode's review to go ahead and close this chapter on up. Like I mentioned in the last video, if you don't know, they got renewed for another season. It's going to be another 10 episode run coming out in about a year, possibly 2021 release. Nothing confirmed as far as I saw, so let's start it off with that. As always, I'm going to start the episode review off with just a quick recap of what to expect in the last episode. Tensions run high as Bet and Danny await election results. Shane and Kiara go through a difficult challenge. Alice takes a big swing at her show. Sophie and Danny consider a big step in their relationship. As with every episode, this episode is no different. It started with a recap of last episode, so you are caught up and know what's going on. It's election night at the beginning of the episode. We're at Dana's, Shane's bar, to figure out the election results for Bet. If Bet wins, she will be the first woman and openly gay mayor. So Danny and Bet are there, as well as all friends and campaign supporters. They're working the crowd. Alice and Shane are there. As you saw in the last episode, Alice pretty much lost both girlfriends that she got, so living a single life. She's at the bar swiping through possible dates with Shane on her phone, assuming like Tinder or Grindr or some shit. She's still upset, of course, about what happened with Nat and Gigi. Finley is there and she's working behind the bar. Now you already know, if you saw the last episode, it ended with those two, Sophie and Finley, kissing. As soon as Sophie gets in the spot, there's clear tension in the air between the both of them. They keep stealing glances at each other. Yeah, something's up. Jose and Micah arrive there also together. They're hanging out with Sophie, and then Danny approaches them, being all lovey-dovey with Sophie and shit. Of course, Finley is looking on, not too happy about that. Danny is so still preoccupied with the campaign, given that the elections are about to happen, that she only stayed with them for a hot minute. Of course, Finley capitalized on that opportunity as soon as Danny steps away and comes over and asks Sophie if they can talk. Angie's there also, of course, supporting her mom on the election night. She's at the bar, sitting there with Alice, and she looks upset or preoccupied, like she got something on her mind. And then she just comes out of nowhere and asks Alice when she lost her virginity. As anybody else would be, Alice was a bit taken back, and at first she just lies by saying that she's a virgin. But, Angie knows what it is. Then she finally tells her the truth, that she lost her virginity when she was 17 to a guy. Now, she clearly is asking that for a reason, but, who knows? Alright, so Finley and Sophie are outside talking. They sitting on the curb talking about the kiss that happened, of course. Sophie admits that she didn't even think Finley would want to talk about it, given how Finley is, that she doesn't deal with feelings and emotions and none of that shit. But Finley says that she doesn't want to do that in regards to Sophie. She don't want to do that. And Finley says that she knows that Sophie loves Danny and whatever happened won't mess them up. She promises she just wants her to forget that it ever happened. They seem to both agree. Finley gets up and goes back into the bar to go work and shit, but Sophie is lingering on the curbside, sitting there, still in her thoughts clearly. While hanging out with Alice, take it back a second, Shane got a call from Kiara. We found out that it was a call from Kiara because she just immediately left. She didn't tell Alice who it was that called her. So then we go ahead, after Sophie and Finley wrap their shit up, we go to Shane arriving at the hospital. She is there with Kiara. Kiara has had some bleeding. She's pregnant. Shane, takes control over the shit, demanding the doctor to come, like going back and forth with the nurse for a little bit, like, nah, fuck that shit. Send me somebody right now. She's bleeding. She's pregnant. It could be something serious. Kiara tries to, console her, saying it's normal and all of that, but Shane like, nah, fuck all of that. Then we go back to the campaign headquarters, Dana's. They're still waiting for the results of the election. Danny and Bet go into her office alone to sit there and still wait. And then unfortunately we figure out that Bet lost. They're both upset, of course. Danny apologizes for the loss. Bet says it's okay, tells Danny she did a good job. And Bet try to get herself together, her emotions, feelings, and all of that before she go out and addresses the media, the crowd, and everybody at Dana's. But Danny is still at a loss for words. She just was sure that they was gonna win. Bet goes out into the bar and addresses everybody. Once she got herself together, you can tell she was pushing back her emotions and just pushing it down so she can address everybody and find Angie to deal with the whole situation in a whole. As she going out there to address him, she left the door open and begins to say that she knows everybody is disappointed just like she is. And Danny was still sitting in the office. She didn't even stand up to be standing with her as she addresses the press, and slammed the door behind her when she was talking to the press and shit, because clearly she is not a happy camper. So after the election results come back, not in Beth's favor, we go head back to Shane. She's at her house. Kiara's at the house in the bed. Shane is inquiring upon if she's okay, if she needs anything, tea or whatever. As Shane is leaving out of the bedroom to go get her something, Kiara starts to cry. So clearly whatever happened at the doctor's office wasn't too good. We go back to Sophie. She's at the house, surprised to see that Danny is actually there. I mean, the campaign shit is over and technically she doesn't have a job. So it's a little bit, shocking that she's actually home with her for a change. Danny comes out of the blue that she wants to get married right now. She wants to leave and go to Hawaii tomorrow to get married. And Sophie, of course, questions her like, why you want to get married now all of a sudden, because you all of a sudden have time for me. Danny tries to appease her and tell her that that's not what it is. Says that she's ready to start their family on their own terms. And she loves her and thinks that they should do it. And she just wants to be her wife. Sophie says her mom is going to kill her after she was going back and forth about it, not really agreeing. Danny takes that as her saying yes. I didn't necessarily take it as a yes, but she took it as a yes, so Danny is super excited. All the arrangements made and shit, and Sophie still doesn't seem like she's on board or really for it because she got something going on with Finley, clearly. Back to Shane's house. Beth and Alice are there with her. Kiara's in the room. We figure out that Kiara had a miscarriage, unfortunately. Beth and Alice are there trying to console Shane and Kiara over everything because, a miscarriage ain't no easy shit to deal with. Beth is sharing how her and Tina, they endured when Tina had a miscarriage. And they're, of course, concerned about Kiara and Shane. Beth even asks Shane how she's doing. Shane says she doesn't even know, and no, she says she's alright at first, but then Beth, pushes on and says, no, how are you really doing? And Shane says she don't even know. And then they flip the question back on Beth and ask her how she's doing after her campaign loss. She says she's okay, and then she got a job offer from her competitor to spearhead a new task force for the opioid crisis in the city. Alice says that she's in shock on how well Beth is handling her loss, and Beth said she went out swinging, gave the campaign her all, and found one way to be herself with more than she asked for. Shane agrees, and so does Alice. And what Beth said seems to resonate with Alice, given everything that she got going on at the network and shit. Then we go to Alice. She's showing up at the set. She gathered up her whole entire team, which includes Finley and Sophie, and she begins to address them all. She says none of them know how things will turn out. She's worked hard and set out to change a few people's minds about a couple of things, and if she can't use the show platform to do that, then she doesn't want to do it anymore. And she says that sometimes you have to take risks, so let's make the show that she wants to make. She goes on to say fuck viral videos, fuck the network mandate, tells Sophie she wants Roxanne Gray on the show, but she also lets them know that's the downside of them going this route, that it might be their last show, and if that's the case, that if this is it, if this is going to be the last show, that she's sorry that she's failed them. She thanks them for everything and tells them let's go down swinging. Drew is also in the meeting as Alice is addressing everyone. He tries to chime in and suggests that maybe they can find a compromise. Alice was not for that shit. Alice snaps at Drew and says, no more. You can't get on board, then get the fuck out of here. He got the picture. He's stunned, but he stayed the fuck around. So then we move back to Daddy. She's at her house. She's talking to her dad, and she reveals her wedding plans to him. That they're going to Hawaii, and that Sophie always wanted to go to Hawaii. Tells him what island they're going to. Still trying to control everything. He tries to tell her that they need to go to another island, but she does that. He's still not on board with them getting married at all. He makes it clear, and he reveals that it's never been about the money, and he taught Danny to have ambition and pride, and that since Sophie comes from a broken family, that's the only way she knows how to live. Danny disagrees with him, but he states that she doesn't know stability, and that he's afraid that when things get hard, Sophie will leave her because that's what she knows. Danny again disagrees, defending Sophie, thank God, saying she's better than that, she's not gonna leave me, we love each other. Literally, she knows. And that she needs her dad basically to be okay with that. He sighs and he says okay, and they switch the topic. Her dad asks how she's doing after the campaign loss and offers her her old job back. She declines. Then unfortunately she figures out, which I don't think it was really a surprise, that her dad was against her and Beth's campaign the whole time and was working with and supporting her competitors. But I mean, what more can you expect from him. Like, I wasn't surprised at all. Danny lets up and says that she can't change him, and if I think the same in regards to her, it states that it's going to be a whole new world for them. And then we go back to Shane's house. She's in a house packing up the baby stuff after the miscarriage. Kiara confronts her about why she's packing up the stuff, like, what the fuck are you doing? Kiara shares that she plans on trying again as soon as she's ready, so there's really no need to pack up the baby stuff. Shane was just trying to be considerate given that she did just lose a baby. Like, maybe you don't want to see that shit around or whatever. Kiara states that she fucking knew it and pretty much goes in on Shane, saying that Shane was relieved about the miscarriage. Shane says no. They go back and forth a little bit. Kiara asserts that Shane is never going to change, and no one is ever going to love her because she is incapable of loving anyone but her fucking self. She goes as far as turning her wedding ring back to Shane, throwing that shit on the floor, and storming the fuck out. Shane breaks down crying, grabbing the ring off the floor, and yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna make it. Looks like it's a done deal. It's over. We move back to Beth. She bringing home the campaign shit with Danny, clearing everything out. Danny shares her wedding plans with Beth. Beth congratulates them. Beth offers Danny a job when she gets back on the same task force that her competitor offered to her. Danny unfortunately has to share some bad news that the whole job offer is a setup, and her competitor is using Beth to make it look like he give a shit. Beth is stunned, of course. She's thinking that she at least got a job and is going to be able to do some good things or whatever, and questions if any of it was even fucking worth it. Her campaign, her running, any of the shit. Danny thinks so, of course, but Beth is still unsure that if it was worth it at all. We move back to Sophie. She's at the office. She's gearing up to leave. Runs into Finley, offers her a ride home. The two end up alone in the green room, and they go in to talk. Sophie shares with Finley that Danny proposed leaving to Hawaii tomorrow to go get married. The two go back and forth a little bit over what happened and what's going on with them, because, like I said, there's clear tension still in the air, even though they quote-unquote made up on the curb. It still was tension. They were still acting weird towards each other. Finley is trying to assert and tell Sophie to just shove her feelings all the way down. Nothing happened. Just forget about it. Just shove it all the way down and forget it. Sophie says she doesn't want to. Finley asks what she wants, and Sophie begins to undress her. As they're undressing and making out and shit, they're laughing and joking around the whole time, which is very telling to me. And Sophie says that it feels good to be with Finley, because at one point it didn't look like she was going to be able to actually perform and fuck her, but she wanted to internally. Like, I don't know, it's like a battle internally. Like, she wants to, she knows it's wrong, but something is drawing her into Finley, so she just needed to. So yeah, they fucked. They had sex. It was definitely some passion and some heat there in that sex, and yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen with Sophie and Finley. I don't know. But we go ahead and we move on to Micah and Jose. They're at Jose's art exhibit. Jose unveils an art piece that he did in inspiration of Micah. Micah says it's beautiful. Jose shares that that's how he sees him. Yeah, you have to check out the episode. I can't really describe it. It's just a painting of a man. Micah at first seems a little bothered and off-put by the image, but I don't know, whatever he was thinking or going back and forth in his head over, he got over the shit real quick and pulled Jose in and grabbed his hand. He finally tells him I love him, and he says it back. Then we move to Sophie again. She's in the bed with Danny, and she's in the bed crying her damn eyes out. So I'm sure she's crying over her infidelity that she just did with Finley, and then yet she's laying in the bed with Danny. Danny, she has no clue of what the hell is going on. She consoles her thinking that she just has pre-wedding jitters, but not realizing that she just fucked Finley. Danny says that she's still learning and will always be there for Sophie no matter what. Sophie's still upset, not really saying too much, just crying her eyes out and snuggles into Danny. We move to Finley. She shows up at Rebecca's house. Now, if you saw my other episode review, she had a little thing with Rebecca. It didn't last long, but she had a little thing with her. But she shows up at her house all unannounced. She shares what happened with Sophie. Rebecca is like, what the fuck? I don't care. Why are you showing up in my house? You can't show up in my house like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? She apologizes and she goes in to say, you said I was a good person, but clearly I'm not. Look at what I just did. I just fucked up Sophie. I really think I hurt her. And the whole little encounter with Sophie made Finley realize that she also hurt Rebecca with what she said, because she told her that she wasn't a real priest. So Finley wholeheartedly apologizes to Rebecca for what she said. Rebecca thanks her and tells her that it means a lot to her apology. Tells Finley that she is a good person and good people make mistakes. Rebecca asks her if what happened with Sophie was a mistake. And Finley says it doesn't matter if it was or was not. She's getting married, and I think I really fucked it up for her, and she did not deserve that. Rebecca asks Finley, what does she deserve? And Finley says not her, talking about Rebecca or Sophie. They're both way better than her. Down on herself. Basically told her she has to address her insecurity. Finley asks her how the fuck does she do that, and Rebecca says that she doesn't know. It's not a cut and dry type of situation, but thinks it's a lifelong journey of cultivating self-worth and self-love, which true that, because Finley ain't got neither one of those. Finley shares that she doesn't even like herself and she needs some help. And Rebecca told her that she already started by taking responsibility for the things she did and coming to apologize to her. Finley thanks her for her time and apologizes again for everything, and asserts that she is a real priest, well, minister. And she asks her for a pen and some paper and says a final goodbye to Rebecca because she interrupted her. She had like a date in there. We go back to Jose and Micah. They're still at Jose's art exhibit. Micah is just walking around and looking at all of the artwork as Jose is, working the room because it is his artwork that's showcased at the exhibit. Micah is standing there looking at some shit, and some random man came out of nowhere, approaching him, started talking to him. And Micah answered like a couple of questions and then just turned to him like, do I know you? Or like, what the fuck? The gentleman reveals himself as Scott, who just happens to be Jose's husband. What the fuck? I wasn't expecting that. Not at all. Of course, just like everybody else, Michael was stunned. And Jose looks over and sees the two of them together talking, and yeah, shit just hit the fan. It's a wrap. It's a done deal. Shit just got real. Finley, inspired by her conversation, Rebecca is going around trying to make amends to all the people she hurt. If you remember, in the first episode, she took some girl's bike that she hooked up with. So that same piece of paper and that pen that she asked Rebecca for before she left, she filled out a note and returned that girl's bike. Finley is working on herself, which, as y'all know, I wasn't a fan of her. But throughout these last 2 episodes, Finley is really starting to grow on me, and I'm fucking with the growth that they're showing of her character. So I'm more with her now. We move on to Bet. After hearing that she was pretty much scammed and, put into a sham job that just is not even real for real. She's at the house, all depressed and shit, laid out on the couch, just looking a mess. Ange discovers her there and tells her that she wants to share something with her, but she gotta get dressed and, they gotta go there. They go out to a remote location, area where they spread some of Kit's ashes. Ange shares with Bet that she comes up here with Jordy sometimes, and when she is sad about her Kit or Mama T, which is Tina. Ange shares her upset of Tina's marriage plans. Tiny part of her hope that Tina and Bet would get back together. Bet apologizes for Ange seeing her all depressed and like shit. Ange says it's okay. Bet never lets herself be sad even after Tina left and Aunt Kit died, and she just kept going. And Bet shares that never let herself grieve because it's a final goodbye and she's not ready to do that, and so she's constantly running from her feelings, which that goes throughout the original L Word and this one. Bet is always been running from her feelings. She shares with her that silent retreat that she went on in the original L Word and some tools that she learned that helps her. And one of the tools was screaming, to let it all out. So the two are up there screaming, letting it all out, and it seems to help them both. Back to the show set. Alice is gearing up for her show and possibly her last show. Finley or Sophie are both there. Finley shares news with Sophie that she's going to be going back home to Missouri, possibly for good. She says it's not because of what happened between her and Sophie, but that she wants to be there for her sister and go down and be there for her sister's wedding. And I also took that as that she wants to go back home so she can work on whatever relationship issues that she got going on with her family. She tells Sophie bye, and it's definitely an emotional bye for both of them. Sophie was looking like she was going to go after Finley, but Drew came over and it was time for her to get ready to start the show, so she had to go to work as Finley still left. Angie and Bet, after their screaming endeavor, they're still hanging out, they're on their way back. Bet asks Angie if her and Jordy are having sex. Angie says no, and she gets uncomfortable about having this talk. Bet says that she knows that she doesn't want to talk about it, and says that she's not going to tell her that she's too young or she's not ready, because it would be pointless. But she only wanted to tell her that sex is supposed to feel good for the both of them. And yeah, the convo pretty much ends. I mean, no kid really want to talk about sex with their parents, so Angie, of course, was uncomfortable and didn't really want to go into all of that, but assures Bet that they're not even having sex. They just became a couple like 2 episodes ago. They just shared a kiss. It's not happening. As they're on their way back, they run into a reporter that happened to be at Bet's campaign headquarters, Dana's, and her name is Maya. Now, they had a little interaction at Dana's, and they seem to have some type of back history because they addressed each other by name. I don't know if it's just history from campaign or whatnot. Maybe we'll see in season 2. I don't know. Angie runs up to said Lady Maya's dog and starts rubbing on him and whatnot. And the girl asks Beth out to dinner. Beth at first was thinking it was professional, trying to talk about what happened with the campaign, and she pretty much declines it. And Maya had to tell her, oh no, it's not professional, this is personal. And she won't bet ass. So Beth says yes, they going out on a date. As Angie and her walks off after those date plans are made, Angie says that Maya is pretty and is excited that Beth is, dating, and thinks Beth just found the love of her life, and sparks are in the air. Back to Alice. She's on her show. She has Roxanne Gray on the show. They're to discuss feminism, being queer. Alice thinks she's a bad queer, shares her downfall of her last throuple situation with Nat and Gigi, says she was heartbroken and that she just wanted Nat. Nat appears out of the audience and comes up on stage and says that she wants Alice too. Nat shares that she lost the marriage because she was too afraid to fight for what she wanted and that she don't want to make that mistake twice. Says she loves Alice and that she's in love with Alice, and that she feels her complete and total self with Alice. She makes her laugh even when she's mad, even though it's annoying, even though her mothering skills need some work. She's trying and she can appreciate that, and she acknowledges the fact that Alice even tried to make it work with Gigi because she thought that was going to make her happy. Tells Alice that she is the best, she loves her, and she's going to fight for Alice and only Alice. They kiss and they make up. So it seems like Nat and Alice are back on and Gigi is out of the picture. I don't know. She did say that she only wants Alice and only Alice because Alice wasn't trying to get back into the throuple situation. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see in season 2 how Gigi takes all of this. The episode is coming to an end. Sophie is in a car. She's headed to the airport. Danny's at the airport waiting for Sophie. Micah is at home. He's ignoring Jose banging at his door. Says he's sorry, it's not what you think. I was going to talk to you, just open the door. Yeah, Micah doesn't answer the door at all. Shane is in her car, and she happens to see an abandoned dog just out there rummaging through trash and shit, and she rescues the dog. Beth shows up for her dinner date with my baby. Was she looking sexy as fuck? Damn. Definitely got her groove back. I hope her and Maya work out. Shout outs to them for season 2. I hope they work out for sure. Angie and Jordy are hanging out, and Nat and Alice are making out. I'm assuming still on the show set. Finley is at the airport. She's waiting to board her plane to go home. Sophie arrives to the airport. She's rushing through the airport. We don't get to see who the fuck she's going to. We don't see where she's ending up. We don't know who she end up going to. The episode fucking ends with her arriving at the airport and clearly making eye contact with somebody. Whether it be Danny or Finley, I don't fucking know. That was the way they ended the episode. Now, Saudi Balls, of course, that's how they ended it. But I mean, what can you expect? Especially since they got renewed and they're going to have another 10 episodes coming out. I'm sure they're going to wrap everything up in season 2. I hope anyway. Yeah, so that was the episode. Overall, the whole series I would have to give a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 for me. It's missing a lot of things from the original L Word that I like. But that's just my personal. That's just because that's what I like. So it's going to wrap up the series for this because season 2, I'm going to watch it, but I'm probably not going to be doing episode reviews on it. To close out everything in this episode, I didn't expect Alice and Nat to get back together, but it's a good thing. I'm all the way with it. I hope that it works out. I hope that it's just only Alice and Nat, and Gigi is out of the picture. Jose and Micah, that was a twist. I wasn't expecting him to have a whole ass husband. Just pretty fucked up. He just told you he loved you, and then a whole ass husband came out of nowhere. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to play that out in season 2. How the fuck and what the fuck is going on with Micah and Jose. Shane and Kiara, shit, I don't even know. I wasn't expecting their storyline to be what it was. I was hoping that Shane was going to move forward with Kiara and do the whole baby thing, and clearly the writers had a whole nother direction that they wanted to go, so I don't know. I mean, I guess it's alright, but in my opinion, I feel like it's ending off just like how the original L Word ended off with Shane, just with no one. And it's like, why keep playing the same narrative? If she can be with no one, just keep her with nobody. Why do we keep having to see her going through the same heartbreak each damn time, whether it's her giving it out or being on the receiving end? I don't know. I was hoping that Shane and Kiara was going to make it happen, but disappointed that didn't work out. Now, the obvious. Danny, Sophie, and Finley. Holy shit. I don't even know. No lie, I thought Danny would have a little thing for Beth. Not even gonna lie, I thought that's what the season finale was gonna be about, Danny trying to hook up with Beth. But to switch that whole little thing up and Sophie and Finley to actually fuck, and there's clearly feelings going on there, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say I'm rooting for Sophie and Finley though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Finley grew on me as a character. She seemed like she's growing the fuck up and accepting more of herself, and they just seemed like they always had a close vibe with one another. Not that her and Danny don't, but I mean, she had a lot of issues with Danny that is stuff that you don't go into a marriage type of issues, you feel me? So I didn't think Danny and Sophie were gonna work out for the long haul anyway. But Sophie and Finley though, I feel like they kind of got good chemistry. They have a good time together. Like, I don't know. I'm definitely with it. Y'all let me know who y'all with. I got team Sophie and Finley for real. Sorry for Danny, but I'm with team Sophie and Finley. I don't think Danny deserves Sophie. That's just me. That's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Episode 8, the season finale of the L Word Generation Q. It was a good run. 9 out of 10. I fucks with them. I'm always going to be the #1 fan of the original L Word because it just was iconic, and yeah, that's always going to be the best for me. But shout out to Gen Q. They did the damn thing. Alright guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up for me. Fucking with the truth. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Until next time. Peace.